Hello guys, welcome back. So today we will learn how to create LVM. How to create LVM. If you saw my last video, in last video I told that what is a simple partition and what is the LVM partition. Okay, just little introduction. Simple partition the partition which can't extend LVM. A partition which can extend. Okay, let me explain. So for example, you have a simple partition and the size is 100 gig, and after 1 year your client said that my 1 gig is complete, 100 gig is complete, right? So I want to extend it. So what can you do? Nothing. You can just give the solution to your client that you can move your data from another directory. I can create new mount point. But in LVM has a functionality that you can extend existing mount point. For example, it's 100 gig, and so you can extend it, for example, 200 gig, 300 gig, as per the requirement of the client. Okay, so we have this server here. I will describe you. Okay, root Redhat. This is my password actually. Okay, LSB. Okay, you can see there is a command 5 gig hard disk on my system. Okay, so what can I do now? Let me create a partition. There are two methods to create a LVM. One, for example, if this is a 5 gig disk, I want to create the LVM of entire disk. That's a different method. And if somebody say, oh, it is a 5 gig 5 gig disk, I want to separate partition in this, and then create LVM, and later I want to rest of partition, I can take care of that in later. Okay, now I'll tell you how can we do that. For example, a disk. Now, as you saw my last video, in that I show how can you create a simple partition, and simple partition same like simple partition. I press P to check is there any partition in this disk. I can see that there is no partition in this disk. What I have to do, I have to press N to create a new partition. SP for a primary. As you know that in the simple partition, in a disk you can create 3 primary, 1 extended, and n number of logic as per that size of extended partition. Okay, I press +1 gig, 1 gig partition size. I see. Now you can see the file system is simple. Okay, so I have to change it file system. You can press M. Here you can see T, change the partition file system ID. So I press T, and it says selected already partition 1, because we have only 1 partition. If we might have 3 or 4 partition, it will ask you which partition system ID you would like to change. Okay, so here, so what is the system ID? How can you come to know this? Now Linux by default support 96 file system. Okay, like you can see here, all of these NTFS, or FAT16, these are the old swap partition, Linux, this and that, RAID partition, Okay, we will work on that also in a later new videos. Okay, for now you can see here 8e equal to LVM Linux LVM. Okay, so what we need to type, we have to type 8e, then wow, now you can check again Linux LVM, the partition is created with the Linux LVM system file system type. Okay, what I need to do, W to save the partition, part probe /dev sdb. Yeah, it's done. Now again lsblk, you can see this, we have one partition in the sdb, there's one partition this. Okay, now we have to run the commands. We can say pvcreate, okay, dev sdb1. Oh, actually I used this disk earlier, so yes, no problem, I format it later. Okay, so in your case it will not ask, actually it will simply create a partition sdb1. okay, and now after that you have to create a vgcreate. Okay, you have to write the name of the vg. For example, I'm going to create a data underscore vg. You can define any name, right? It's just for identification. For example, in the future this LVM got cropped, so how you identify what kind of LVM, for which mount point this LVM is. So I will suggest you, so always keep the naming convention as per the mount point of your system. Okay, so let's go sdb and 1. Wow, we have vgcreate. So now you can see that like this pvs1 command, there's a physical virtual file system. So you can see this sdb and this, yeah, rhel, it is by default when we install the system, is by default created like this. Okay, so the here is our one which we create just right now, that is a data underscore vg. So now what we have to do, we have to now create a LVM. After 2 commands, like in a pvs also you can run a command pvs, it's display the pvs, and now you can see rhel and data vg, right? There is a, if you want more information about the vg and pvvg and vg, so there is a command display, you can see entire detail. The pv name is this, vg name is this, the disk size is this, allocated is this, pv size 4 MB, right? So you can change it, like it is 4 MB, pv size, extend size, you can change it. You have to read the man commands for this. Okay, so and now the same thing, you have to run this command vg display, and that also you can see all the information or list of the metadata area, sequences, and read and write, resizable, and everything. Okay, then let's go for the LVM. Okay, now we have to go for the LVM create. Okay, it's lvcreate. Okay, for why we have a 1 gig file system, so there is 2 method. One is just L, you press if you want to use a entire disk, percent, sorry, my bad, this is 100% free, so it will use my entire, like you are next you have to lv underscore I say data underscore lv and data underscore vg. Okay, so it will use entire disk, and not entire disk, that the entire partition which we create for LVM, like that's 1 gig. Okay, so it's up to you what you want to describe, and if you want to specify the size, so you can specify size also, this here L, like it's, you cannot press here 1 complete gig, it will give an error, because there are a few blocks which is reserved for LVM metadata, so we cannot use as a disk. Okay, so we have to describe like 900 MB, right? So it will run. Okay, you cannot use the entire 1024 MB, right? So you can use this. So I mostly prefer, use this one. Okay, oh, my bad, I forget this. Data VG. And data VG. Okay, let's figure it out. What is happen? Sorry, my bad. Oh, you can see that, guys. It's V is small. I write it, small. It's a big. You can see. So you should be identify the errors so that you can see how can you use it. So now in this command we use this V small, but when we create a VG we use a capital V. Oh, again, man, it's really bad. It's L. Okay, yeah, it's done. Yeah, so now you can see LVS. You can see this. I told you there is 1 gig is equal to 1024, but is a 4 MB is already reserved, okay, for your metadata of LVM. So this is your, now before you mount this you have to format XFS. In XFS file system you cannot reduce, but ext4 you can reduce. XFS file system introduced in rhel7 only. Before that we always use the ext4 file system. What is XFS and ext4? I already described in a detail in my last video. Please go through that if you want to know the detail. So then you have to press this. Now you have to format it. Yes, let's format it. Now we have to, I believe I have one data directory already, so let me delete it so that you can understand. Delete it. Let me mount it. Dev data VG and slash data. Oh, I deleted it. Oh man. Okay, now I can run this command. Now you can see, guys, slash data is mounted with this. Now let's be okay. You can see this was our device partition, and this is the LVM. It is size is this, and it is used by this. Okay, this is how we create a partition. Okay, so now the next question comes. Now you learn how to create a partition. Okay, and now I will tell you how to extend LVM partition. Okay, let me create new partition. SDB P N P to this 1 gig T to, as I told you last time, it will ask if there is a more than one partition. It will ask which partition file system you want to change. So as I told you, it's 8EW hardprobe/dev SDB. Okay, done. Okay, so LSBLK, I can show you. This is our new partition. There is no signature of LVM VG and LV, those signature is not there. So what we have to do now, we have to create, give a signature of LVM now, and pv sdb2. Okay, now see, pvs, your new disk is already added in a pv volume. Okay, it's a pv volume size and all. So but we did not add it any of vg, okay, volume group. It's a physical volume group, that is a simple volume group vg. Now we have to extend. In the last time, if you remember, we run a create, but this time we have to run extend. Okay, before that I want to show you the size. Now you can see the size of this is 1017 MB. Okay, and even vgs, you can see that data vg, the size is 1020. Now let me extend data capital vg sdb to. Now you can see guys, it's 1.29G and it was 102G, but still our LVM did not extend. Now let's check again. Now you can see this is also still 102M. Okay, so we need to, now let's extend the LVM. When we extend the LVM, we don't need to unmount file system, unmount the mount point. We can do it on the fly. That's a good functionality. Extend capital L, like we required like 200s. It's our size is, as you can see, PBS 1.99 gig. Okay, we cannot use 2 gig because we don't have entire 2 gig. So lvcreate capital L, the size would be like 950, 800, 900, 100 MB we can leave, not 100 MB. Okay, let's use this one. Yeah, it's 1024 equal to 2048. Let's use a 2000 MB. Okay, I hope so. It should be raw. Then oh, my bad guys, sorry. I have to use not a create, I have to use extended. Okay, yeah, a file size extended. You can see LVS, its size increase. Now you can see, oh my god, it's still the same. Yeah, I knew this because we did not, in the rhel6 you have to use a command resize. Okay, but in rhel7 you have to use growfs/dev the path of your LVM. Yeah, it's extended now. Now you can see, wow, great, it's 2 gig now. Okay, you can see this. So like this we, right? Okay, let's create the mount point in the fester file. Dev mapper data underscore vg hyphen data underscore lv slash data xfs defaults The first is the device name, then mount point, the file system, default, what would be the permissions, what would be the behavior of the your file system during a mount, and this is last 20 is one for fs check, another for dump. Okay, just hold on. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, so now save this file. So I always suggest you, whenever you make any changes in your fs file, make sure you run this command. Okay, so that you be confirmed that whatever you made a changes in a file, it is correct, because without this command you cannot come to know that there is some change, problem in the file. So when your system gonna reboot, your system will be stuck in the control D. Okay, so it was our practical how to create a LVM and how to extend the LVM. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe our channel Technical Tech, share this video with your friends. Thank you so much to watch this video.